Mumbai Manufacturing Unit. Our team is led by Mr. Avinash Pradhan, who is the GM Engineering. First of all, I'd like to thank ISQ for organizing such kind of a competition, creating awareness on sustainability, and also giving us the opportunity to showcase our efforts as being a sustainable organization. Our project is titled Sustainable Manufacturing in Harmony with Neighborhood Community. So a journey towards sustainability is not a recent one, but rather has been going a long-going one almost a decade ago. Being the only plant in Mumbai located in such a heavily residential area, having a population of around 27 lakhs within a radius of nearly 8 kilometers square, this journey wasn't a smooth one always, but it has always been there in our being a preferred citizen of our neighborhood community has always been integral to our functioning and is strongly reflected in our plant vision as well. Here, through some snippets, we can see that there was constant backlashes from the neighborhood community, be it a safety incident or unrest among the residences leading to a barging in into the plant premises. But as we like to say or believe in that in an era where closure of old plants in metros is the order of the day, turnaround of a 63-year-old plant in Mumbai is a tribute to our QBM or TQM journey and a fascinating story of success against all odds. So to focus on sustainable operations, we began by prioritizing our approach with linkage to the 17 Sustainability Development Goals defined by UN. Being a tire manufacturing unit, our process is highly reliant and requires a high consumption of power, fuel, and water. And despite our emission levels being almost 65% lower than the industry defined values by MPCB, the guidelines from the community or the demands were very clear that they wanted absolutely no smoke visible from the chimneys and no soot settling into the premises. To do so, we further drilled down our efforts and we divided our project into 3 parts. For the first part, we did a gate-to-gate life cycle assessment and we have identified scope 1 of sources of emission, that is to reduce fuel consumption, and so scope 2 to reduce grid electricity consumption. To further drill down the approach, we have did a Pareto analysis where we have focused our CO2 emission reduction activities on electricity and natural gas consumption. For the second part of the project, we focused on reducing water consumption. So this data is from FY18 where we began our efforts, and the major contributors were boiler impact and water use for sanitation purposes. These efforts were strengthened by driving improvement activities through quality improvement projects, quality circle projects by our workmen, Pokayokes, Muris, and Mudas. By doing this, we have focused on targeting Goal 12 for responsible consumption and production and Goal 13 for climate action. In doing so, we have made use of a PDC SDCA cycle for identifying the issues and driving these projects, ensuring continuous improvement. Next, we have made a strong use of TQM methodology, strengthening the quality of these projects and building a long-term reliability into the plant. These are the few TQM principles that we have used in our projects. Coming to the third part of our project, we focused on CSR initiatives. These were driven by a test survey that we conducted way back in 2018. And we have identified 4 pillars for driving these initiatives. That is education, employability, health, community welfare, and development. And to proactively capture grievances of the community and have a timely resolution, we have a red book system in place. And to measure it on a regular basis, we have an annual survey in place to measure the level of satisfaction. By doing this, again, we are focusing on Goal 3 for good health and well-being, Goal 4 for quality education, and Goal 8 for decent work and economic growth. To summarize it, overall, we are focused, or our approach is focused on reducing the business risk and in line with our CEAT purpose of making mobility safer and smarter every day. I'll hand over the next part of the presentation to Mr. Avinash Pradhan, who will in detail explain the presentation.
Thanks, Chinmay. Further continuing, these are the few high impact projects under the power, fuel, water, and CSR to drive sustainability. On energy saving front, I would like to brief one of the high impacted projects, that is unit drive projects, which we have implemented in our mills. Earlier, there was a Bulgarian and Pinion type system, so which consumes more power consumption, and the reliability issues are also with there. So in unit drive, we have directly connected the mill roll to the gearbox, which eliminates the stages and in turn reduces the power consumption, and also reliability has improved. Also, To reduce fuel consumption, we work on the insulation, steam and hot water pipelines, where we have replaced the conventional method of using rock wool material, which have gave relatively high radiation losses. We have adopted a multi-layered fabric insulation, which has resulted in reducing the radiation losses, by which our outer surface remains between 40 to 45 degrees. Thus, steam consumption has reduced and in turn fuel is saved. Also, because of reducing ambient temperature, working conditions have also improved and our worker morale is boosted. At the same time, water being a natural resources, we have worked on managing our consumption based on reuse, reduce, recycle philosophy. Similarly, there are also some of the projects on CSR front. Here are a few glimpses of activities carried out under the beneficiaries through them. 24,000 people covered under healthcare initiatives. Over 12,500 children are covered under the education pillar. To give an overview of entire journey, this is an input, output, and outcome model where our input parameters are projects undertaken. Total from FY18 to FY21, we have implemented 111 projects for reducing the boiler SPM levels, power, fuel, and water. As an output of these projects, you can see that the values achieved as a result of our continuous efforts. Firstly, on emission front, despite our boiler SPM level and ambient air quality being way below the legal limits, we have brought down this value further over the years. In terms of power consumption, we have reduced by 11.5%. That contributes to 56 lakhs units from FY18 to FY21. In steam, we have reduced by 20% over FY18, which contributes to 29 kilotons of steam from the FY18. By achieving this, I can proudly say that our power and steam consumption ratios are the best in bias tire industries. Similarly, our natural gas consumption has gone tremendously down by 56% over the year. In waterfront, our consumption values have shown exceptional improvement, that is equal to 36%, which are the best figures in our plant history. Lastly, speaking about the outcome of these efforts, I would like to highlight two major metrics which are critical to us being sustainable. We are proud to share the results in our outcome metrics. One is that our carbon dioxide emission, both direct and indirect, reduced significantly in absolute terms over the past years. Next important metric is that we can proudly say that our community satisfaction score has been reached to 96%, and we are confident that it will reach to 100% very soon. Speaking about the tangible benefits, we have been able to achieve a reduction in energy consumption by 9,000 gigajoules from FY18, and water consumption has reduced by 46%. By implementing all these projects, we have been able to save around 17 crores from FY18 to FY21. As a non-tangible benefits, our CO2 emissions have reduced by 36%, as well as achieved social benefits through CSR activities. Further strengthening a harmonious relationship with neighborhood community, you can see in the some of the photographs below, where we are calling our community for festivals, and even in turn, even community also calling us for celebrating the festivals in their premises. These projects have been implemented at our manufacturing units, have been horizontally deployed at CEAT other plants, as well as at RPG group companies wherever applicable through Center of Excellence Forum. Coming to the way forward, these are the few projects which are in the pipeline for the next couple of years. This would help us in achieving our long-term vision of 50% reduction in carbon footprint by 2030. Thank you once again for giving us the opportunity for this competition. We are open for the questions now.